in front of me. And Cindy Adams is seated to my left. She turns to Cindy. She says, "This is one heck of a photo op." So I love tweaking these people. You can do it each and every day, because the truth of the matter is that they live in their little enclaves, and they are, at the end of the day, they're all very insecure. And this is why they band together. But their insecurity has led to a pompous arrogance in the way they deal with everybody. And it has infected people on our side in Washington, D.C. You know, the liberals do run that town. They run it politically, they run it socially, and everybody wants to be part of it. In your neighborhood, you want to matter, you want to live and be friends. You don't want to be antagonistic with people. So too many of our people have gone out of their way to try, no, we're not like those Limbaugh wackos. And some of our, like National Review magazine, it used to be Bill Buckley's magazine, stand athwart history and say stop. And now they're on the chorus as Christine O'Donnell can't get elected. You know, and it's just, it's silly. I look at, here's a magazine founded by a man, William F. Buckley, whose intention was to have the countryside strewn with the carcasses of liberals everywhere. And now invoking the Buckley rule. The Buckley rule, which means support the most electable conservative. Well, I don't know how you support Mike Castle. He's not a conservative. He's a rhino. Harry Reid couldn't wait. Harry Reid couldn't wait for Mike Castle to get there and join him in voting on cap and trade. So one of the points that I want to make about all of this in the Tea Party is that I still run into people who, despite the successes of the Tea Party and the overwhelming polling data that suggests a really successful November, people are still, in some cases, depressed, insecure, because they don't see their values, their success stories represented in traditional media. Traditional media still impugns, laughs at, and makes fun of us all. And they're not media, folks. They really never have been. This is one of the things that I used to think they were not objective reporters. I knew they were liberals. But now they're activists. I mean, they're making no pretense. They don't report news. They're just activists now. They are out trying to further an agenda. It's Obama's agenda. It's the Democrat Party's agenda. And so anybody who is expecting them to be fair or honest in recognizing things we succeed at, you're always going to be disappointed. Take solace in the fact that last week, the 3 nightly newscast shows, Brian Williams, Diane Sawyer, Katie Couric, lost 700,000 more viewers. That's big. Now, are they? Here's the difference. If this, of course, will never happen, but if the radio ratings came out and I had lost 700,000 listeners, the last thing I would do was say, those stupid people. I said, what am I not doing here? How have I failed to connect? How have I let the audience down? They don't. The news business is the only business where the customer is not only wrong, he's an idiot. You call and complain, and, well, I'm sure you can't understand the ways we do our jobs, or you can't understand the process by which we put together. It's really beneath our ability to explain it to you. So they lose viewers, and they're happy about it, because they think they're getting rid of the rubes. I have the news on during my show every day, just because you never know, some car chase might happen, you have to comment on it, some big news story. And I happen to like Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, in Washington. And she'll have, did I say something wrong, or it's potty time? Oh, good. Future of the country right there, and I come this close to blowing it. So I watch these shows. I I watch, and I realize, but let's say she'll have as her guest F. Chuck Todd. F. Chuck is the, what is he, White House correspondent, NBC News political director, journalist in good standing. And I see him talking to Andrea, and they're not talking to an audience. They're talking to themselves, and they're talking to other news people watching. F. Chuck is hoping Bob Schieffer's watching and is impressed. F. Chuck hopes Walter Cronkite's watching from the great newsroom up there and impressed. F. Chuck hopes that other news people are watching. He hopes the New York Times editors are watching. They do it for each other. They write their articles, their columns, news stories for each other. They don't connect with their audience. We, in the new media, present to them a giant question mark. They do not understand how it is that our enterprises are successful and growing. They have to say that you are mind-numbed robots. They have to insult you. It can't be that you and I share the same values. It can't be that what I really do is simply validate what you already think. You know, I don't teach you anything. Secret to my success is I happened to come along in 1988. Back then, look at what there was. There was ABC, CBS, NBC, New York Times, Washington Post, Time, Newsweek, U.S. News, local rag newspapers, and CNN. That was it. And I came along, and there was no national conservative voice in the media. So I filled the void, and our business plan did not say we're going to fill a void, we're going to be the only conservative voice. I'm going to do a good show. I'm going to try to attract an audience and be honest about the things I believe and roll the dice and see if it works. And it did. To this day, people, even in talk radio on competing stations or on leftist side, do not understand the recipe for success. It's so simple. It's right out in front. You be honest. You have a connection with the audience. You have credibility. They believe you. You never steer them wrong as a host. You build a loyalty, and we haven't lost any dollars. We haven't lost any audience in 23 years. We're growing while they're all pointing and falling apart. Now, this is obviously a testament to my superior talent and skill. But in truth, what it is a it's a very almost humbling thing for me to have this large an audience. I mean, they put out 15 million. It's more like 23 to 25 million in a week. Have people like you show up here. I'm in awe of it every day. I don't, when I say have to meet and surpass audience expectations every day, I do. I do not take you being here or on the listening to radio for granted for even a moment. And because it's not just that I love you all, knowing what you believe and what you want for the country. It's I respect your intelligence. I don't talk down to you. I don't assume that you're ignorant or a novice. And a lot of people in the conservative media are the same way. We're just real people. We have a genuine connection, and it drives them nuts. And when we have to resort to impugning you, me, all it does is strengthen us. And it makes us more committed than ever to oppose them and defeat them. They have created this monster themselves. You know, about every day is a learning experience for me, and I want to tell you a little bit about how I got started doing this, because I was in radio for a number of years as a disc jockey, only allowed to speak over the intros to music, and then only allowed to talk about the music. And I was at Pittsburgh at a station owned by ABC, and the program director's admonition was music over music. Meaning if you play a Michael Jackson song, you had to talk about Michael Jackson. And if it's Billie Jean, you had 15 seconds on Michael Jackson. So I would love to play The Show Must Go On by 3 Dog Night, a 45-second intro. My first opportunity to do what I'm doing now came in Sacramento in